Welcome to Miami and the global debut of the Absolute 52 Fly. It's just shy of 55 feet long, it's got 3 or 4 cabins, and it's an Absolute, so of course it's IPS only. IPS 800 in this case with 600 horsepower per side, a top speed of around 28 knots, a cruise of 22, and a range at that speed of around 250 nautical miles. The price starts from 1.34 million euros excluding VAT. It is brand spanking new, so let's go and have a look around. I'm Jack Haines, welcome to YachtBuyer. Okay, let's start at the transom, and we have a hydraulic bathing platform here. Obviously goes up and down, you can launch your tender off here, built-in steps as well to help you get back up onto the main deck when it's down in the water. And as you can see, you've got these slots in here that you can put railings in. We've got one in place here, you can put them here and here as well. And this is quite a nice addition as well. This ring that again slots into the deck, and this is next to the boarding ladder, which is built into the side of the platform. Again, just a really nice handhold to help you out of the water after a swim. And we're quite used to this arrangement now. We've seen it on the 60 Fly, the 58 Fly, but this pops open. This is unlikely to be a crude boat, but Absolute gives you the option of having another cabin down here. So we've got a single berth with a separate bathroom and some storage. You can have just the bathroom, so you've got a toilet, sort of outdoor toilet on the boat. If people are coming out the water and need to use the facilities, they can go in there and not get the boat wet, or you can just have it as pure storage. So it's really quite a flexible space, and why not have that additional sleeping space for the occasional overnight use? It's quite a sensible arrangement. Close it back down again. And it gives you that open terrace arrangement that we've now seen on a couple of the Absolute Flybridge models. So you have this modular furniture, which you can move in any position you want really. All of the armrests come out, so you can slot those out to make them into chaise longues. You can move the seats around here. None of it is actually bolted down, it's just got grip on the bases and it uses friction to stay in place, but this is an incredibly flexible area. The other thing to point out is they've got a new lighting design. You've got this sort of wavy LED strips, which is mirrored on the inside as well. That works really nicely. And you've got the open gunwales back here, which again we've seen before, but on this boat they've got this little detail down here with the smoke glass and the stainless steel. Just adds a bit more protection, but you still get the nice view out over the water when you're sitting in these seats. Now, as an owner-run boat, it's quite nice to know that you've got the option of this third docking station. It's an Absolute, so of course it's an IPS boat, but you have your joystick control here, and you're in a good position to see the back of the boat when you're mooring stern to. So got engine stop start and a repeater for the Fusion stereo system. This is an option, but it's probably quite a good one to have. Now, what this boat doesn't have is boarding gates back here in the cockpit, but they have thought of that. They've got them further up the deck. We'll have a look at those in a moment. If we head forward, the little things that make life on board that bit easier. Absolute are really good at these little details, and one of those is this dedicated spot for the boat hook here, just where you need it. It's not going to be rattling around, rolling around on the floor, always to hand, and slots away really neatly in that little compartment. Moving forward, it's a bit of a shuffle sideways scenario on the side deck, but these are very nice and high. You feel very well protected. You've just got to do the penguin shuffle down the side here, and we've got these, I mentioned the boarding gates, we've got these on both sides of the deck. So this opens up this way, and if you're on a high dock side, you can step off amidships. And what's really useful is that on the other side, this aligns with the side door by the helm, so the skipper can get away from the helm onto the deck and then onto the quay side really easily without having to go down to the back of the boat. A couple of steps up to the foredeck itself, and this is now quite a familiar Absolute arrangement with the walk across deck which connects the two decks. This boat hasn't got teak up here. You can have that. This is all GRP, but you can brighten it up a bit with a bit of teak. But you've got your nice teak table which has an adjustable leg, so you can adjust the height of that. You've got your bench, and then this is a two-way backrest. So at the moment it's set up as a bench to face back into the boat, but you can drop this down to extend the sunbathing space. And again, there's some nice detailing. You've got pop-up lights, you've got speakers up here, a repeater again for the Fusion stereo system, you've got your built-in cup holders, and really nice easy access up to the anchor winch, the anchor locker, and the cleats up here. It's a nicely designed space. Let's head up to the Flybridge. Up to the Flybridge then, and it's another really nicely designed space. You know, this is only a 54-foot boat, so the Flybridge isn't going to be enormous, but with the space they've got, they've used it really intelligently, and you still got that mix like you get downstairs of freestanding furniture, so you can arrange the aft area however you wish, and then you have this nice fixed space amidships next to the helm seat, so that even if people are sitting here when the boat's going along, they're still involved in the action. Forward, just pure sunbathing space, and of course we have the helm station up here, which is typically neat, typically well organised, classy looking helm design, and a nice bit of storage just forward of the helm console itself as well. Nice to have twin seats, and the navigator is inboard, so they can get out and in without disturbing the person at the helm seat. Hard top is an option. I imagine most people will go for it. You haven't got the sunroof option on the 52 like you have on the bigger boats, but you can have solar panels which help to keep the domestic appliances topped up when you're away from shore power and you don't want to run the generator. And you have this cool circular lighting motif, and that is mirrored downstairs in the saloon. We'll see that later on, but I think that works really nicely, as does the way that they've integrated the wet bar into the back of the sofa here. I think that's a really sensible place to have it, and it's opposing the seating on this side. You have dedicated life raft storage down here. You can chuck towels and things in this bit. Got a nice bit of proper countertop on here. Big sink. The sink is standard, but the fridge and the barbecue grill are optional. They've dropped the ball a little bit as well, because as you can see, the grill is mounted down here. Okay, there's a drain down the back, which is nice to see, but you can't actually sweep everything into the sink because there's a ridge between the grill and the sink. So that makes cleaning it a little bit more difficult, but they have at least got the runoff at the back. Fridge and ice maker down there, as I said. Yeah, again, another really well thought out space. Let's head downstairs and see what it's like on the inside. Come on in then. Two-part sliding door on this side. These slide right over here, and then over on this side you have an electric sliding window. Drops down nice and quickly into this section of countertop here, and then you have a little flip over section here that just bridges the gap, so you have a nice flat area here that acts as a bit of a bar section. No, this is typical absolute stuff. Galley aft layout, connects really well to the cockpit, and this is a really nice space. You know, decent amount of countertop. You've got a 4-burner induction hub, a good sized oven, and I like the fact that you've just got so much storage here. Usually this is all compartmentalized and compromised on boats of this size, but that is just really good, deep domestic kitchen style storage space. There's more at eye level as well, and then over on this side you have your cooling space, and you have got a full height proper domestic fridge at the top, freezer at the bottom, and then this nice pantry area. You're not going to be short on storage in this galley, that's for sure. And the sensible storage solutions continue in this really nicely designed dresser here. If I pull this tab, you've got all of the boat's crockery neatly fiddled away so it can't move around, even down to your Absolute branded espresso cups, of course. Below this one, there's one for all the boat's glassware. So that's really, really nicely done. Here there's a couple of switches, and what they do is drop the windows down. So you have drop down windows on both sides of the saloon, meaning if it's not a really hot day, hopefully you can cut the air conditioning and just get a nice breeze coming through. Open up the side door, open up the aft doors, open up the windows, and you can rely on natural ventilation rather than the air conditioning. Moving up here, you notice this mirrored motif in the ceiling. I mentioned it upstairs. You've got this in the hardtop, you've also got it in the ceiling. I think that works really nicely, and the way the lighting is sort of indirectly arranged around this circle is a really lovely effect. Obviously this is your main indoor sort of dining relaxing space. The table is on an adjustable leg, so you can have it up in dining mode like it is now, but it also dropped down to more of a coffee table height. You've got this nice 3-person sofa on the other side with some storage underneath as well, and behind there, that's where the television is mounted. So you push a button, up it comes, and you've got your TV over there. Optional wine cooler under the helm station here, so decent use of space. And then we have a brand new helm design. Absolute helms are so good, and they seem to have made it even better. I love how close everything is. It's all flush mounted, it's incredibly clean. There's a nice uniformity between all of the buttons, not too many different switch panels. The angling of these pods towards the helmsman is great. I really like that. And as you can see here, you've got Garmin surround view on this boat, which is much like your parking assistant on your car you might have. So you have a top-down view, you have these lines that give you a warning when you're getting too close to something. That's a really, really cool feature. But of course, if you just want to do it with Mark 1 eyeball, you have your side door, as I mentioned earlier, so you can step out onto deck. I've got the joystick right here, bow thruster control right here, so I can see right forward, I can see right aft, and as I said, just behind me here is the boarding gate, so me as skipper, I can get onto the dockside and help out with the lines really easily. Great Helm chairs as well. These are really nicely finished with a nice bolster function, very comfortable to both sit and stand, and I love the fact you can stand so comfortably at this helm. This is a really nice position. Yeah, pretty masterful when it comes to helm stations. It looks like they've done it again. Let's head downstairs. Now we actually turn right and head forward at the bottom of the steps to get to the owner's stateroom on this boat, and yeah, it's a pretty nice space. Bear in mind that this boat is sub 55 feet. I mean, just look at the headroom I've got in here. It's totally flat floor around this king size bed. Enormous television up on this bulkhead here. It's ridiculously large for a cabin of this size, and lovely big picture windows. You obviously note these windows from the outside. They're such a big part of this boat's external styling, but on the inside the effect is pretty lovely. Again, you've got this nice strip lighting overhead, and it's the details again, the downlighters behind the bed head, this use of different materials here, the sort of leather inset here so things don't slide around on the top of the bedside tables, and they're sort of double height so you can put stuff down here and on top. There's drawers built in as well, repeater lights here, built-in chargers. They really have thought of everything. Nice little bureau down here, a big hanging locker just here as you come into the cabin, and then of course with the bed here, that leaves the space forward in the point of the bow for what is a really nice bathroom. Absolutely, once again deployed one of their favourite things, the pocket door. So that just slides into the bulkhead to give you a bit of privacy, but in there you've got a separate shower cubicle, really nice sink, good amount of storage, and of course the toilet. It's a really wise use of space. If you follow me amidships, we can go and look at the guest cabins. There's a few steps down onto the level for the guest cabins. Should point out just here you've got washer dryer access for all cabins. That's sensibly put there, and then you have the day head. This is also the bathroom that serves both the twin cabin and the amidships VIP. So the amidships VIP doesn't have an ensuite, but it's pretty close to this day head here. If we start off at the twin cabin, this is another really good space. Again, headroom, perfectly good. And as standard, you have electric berths. So you push a button and they can either come apart to make two twins, or they slide together and you have an instant double. And there's a really useful extra storage space down here. There is a good amount of storage in there on top of the hanging storage that's behind me. This is a really good space. And then finally, we have the VIP, which is like another master cabin. It's full beam. You've got a really nice big bed. Again, the floor is completely flat, so there's no obstacles as you move around. There's a couple of obstructions overhead. As you get close to the bed, I'm 6 foot, I'm just having to dip my head a little bit as I get towards the top of the bed, but the detailing remains. Your bedside table, the nice use of textures in the bed head here, the repeater switching, the storage dotted all along this side, more storage down this side, a television mounted up here on the wall. It's a really well executed space once again. And the last place to look at then is the engine room. So as you can see, engine access is through this hatch here in the cockpit deck, and then there's a ladder that drops you down between the engines. The space between the engines is gobbled up by the generator, but at least it puts it in a nice accessible position, and forward of that, if you have it as an option, is the seakeeper. Now there's a bit of intrusion from that bathroom that we saw earlier on in the crew cabin space, but either side actually access is really good right to the back of the engine room, and crucially it's very easy to get around both engines, and there's good access to both the pod drives as well. And there are more of those little details that just make life on board a bit easier, like you have an auto reeling shore power cable that comes back into its own bin so you don't have to reel it and store it yourself. Lighting's really good down here. It's all very neatly laid out and labelled so you know what everything is and what all the wires do and where all the pipe work runs. It's really well executed, as we've come to expect from Absolute. And there you have it, the Absolute 52 Fly. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think Absolute could be onto a real winner with this thing, but of course the proof is in the sea trialling, which we're hoping to do later on in the year, so keep an eye out for that video. Thanks again for watching. If you'd like to watch more Absolute reviews, I sea trialed the Nevetta 75 at Cannes, and you can watch that video if you click up here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, please click here. Thank you for watching.